Panel just hit 2 years. I'm super excited. I'm Kevin, sitting down with Andrew. Over the last 2 years, we've built an amazing platform for brands and creators. We've been able to really help brands grow and scale their influencer marketing programs, and we've been able to pay out millions to creators. So it's been a crazy 2 years. I'm excited to sit down with you, Andrew, and talk about everything we've done over the last 2 years and where we've come. But yeah, just want to get your take, like, just on everything. It's been a crazy 2 years. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's been a crazy 2 years, and I think when we set out to build this, we knew advertisers and specifically performance advertisers really wanted a solution for how can we tap into performance marketing as a media channel with this performance-minded media approach and marketing approach. And I think a lot of them haven't been able to figure it out. It's a really tricky one. So when we first started, we were so data-driven. We kind of made a bootstrapped version of what we have now just to collect the data and see what worked and didn't work. And after, I would say, year one, we had the data, we had the proof of concept, we knew what worked and didn't work. It's not a perfect science, but we had learned enough that we felt confident, okay, the platform we need to build is for YouTube long form because that's the highest performance channel. And for advertisers that want performance, that's where it makes the most sense for them to spend. So focus on YouTube long form and make a really simple platform because so many of the solutions out there are overly robust. And when I personally try to use them, I get confused. So make a really simple solution for buying YouTube long form. And that's the solution that we leaned into. And it was probably about a year ago when we started building the advertiser-facing part. We built the creator-facing part in the previous year. And so here we are now with that booming. I think we're trying to figure out more verticals to get into and scale to. We were talking about that a bit yesterday, but we've kind of, in some ways, it's never mission accomplished, but the version one of, I think, the vision we set out to build is now actually built, and it took 2 years. I don't know if that's a long time or a short time. It feels like an eternity, but yeah, I'd like your take as well on, from when you joined to where we're at now.
Yeah, it's been super exciting for sure. I think we both were on the same page of, like, we're on the precipice of something. The industry has to change. One of the biggest pain points for brands is that rates are just everywhere. Creators have little rhyme or reason as to why they, make offers or pitch rates to brands, and brands had little to no way to really understand the ROI that creators drive and really price this content that's advantageous to both their bottom line and make sure the deal gets over the line. And that, like, building that over the last 2 years and really coming up with a process around that to really help brands scale and creators get deals again and again and lock in partnerships over a long period of time has been, like, it's definitely what the industry needs right now.
Yeah, and I think an issue with the pricing is that traditionally brands that spent into influencer marketing were like brand awareness brands that wanted a video with somebody and they had $100K to spend, and it was like, go spend this $100K with pretty loose definitions of success. And I think now the performance marketing brands want to spend, they have very defined definitions of success. So rates now matter. Well, they always mattered to some degree, but they matter, and they're very sensitive to the difference between success and spending more and scaling up to 6-figure, 7-figure months. Whereas with brand awareness, which was the first type of media spend into the channel, it was like, we have $100,000 and we're going to spend $5K here, $5K there. And so I think the market adapted to that early spend. And now that performance marketing dollars are trying to come in, which is a much bigger opportunity for everybody involved, it needs to evolve, and we've been trying to help it evolve. Yeah. It's a painful process always to try to change an industry. And I think in a lot of ways we've bent to make sure that we're not overly trying to go against the industry. We need to still work with the way people are comfortable, but we also need to make sure that we're setting up both sides for success and scale.
Yeah, and we can definitely dive deeper into that, because I think panel is really, like I said, at the creator industry, the creator economy is at this maturity level where it's no longer the flat rates that are backed into any conversion data, any sales data, are happening less and less. Brands are less willing to just pay a blanket rate to get a video up and then see sales and see traction, and really they want to make informed decisions, informed buying decisions, and that's what makes panels so key in this moment of the creator economy, in this maturity level of the creator economy. And I want to talk about that some more because we've made massive development in making sure that panel is the best place, for brands to buy these performance-minded or any brand that is really looking for aggressive growth. The old way is, Excel spreadsheets and a bunch of creators and sales data from here and there and there and here. But panel is this new way of this essentially performance influencer marketing. And a little bit about that, because we've changed the product to really suit a lot of these performance-minded brands, these growth brands, and some of the new things that they have. So why, in getting your take, like, why should brands be buying YouTube integrations through panel?
Well, one, I think there's the easiest initial thought, which is that we have access to the media. It's definitely still a fairly gate-kept media channel where, you as a brand can't really just go buy ads. And if you do, you're going to get ripped off and be unsuccessful. You kind of have to have inside know-how to even get started. That's table stakes. And then from there, we've built a really robust discovery solution, so then you can find the right creators to work with. I think right now we're sitting at over 500,000 creators in our database with first-party data on 100 or 200 or so. So that is very unique to us. There's no one else in the industry that has that. I would say outside of that, I would say our reporting capabilities are really robust. I come from a finance and reporting background, so that's something that I always focused on, and I know for these brands, being able to have solid reporting is what enables you to scale versus not scale. So we built out a really robust reporting suite. And then finally, it's just a campaign management solution. We've simplified it as much as possible. As a brand, it feels really self-serve in tech. There's definitely some human element that we add in there. That's kind of some of the secret sauce is the relationships that we have. Is you put in your offer, the creator doesn't know if they want to do it or not. You, me, or one of our creator manager calls the creator and says, hey, this is a cool opportunity, we should run it. If it goes well, we think they genuinely have more scale. Or, on the creator side, if we don't think it's a great deal, we say, hey, maybe counter offer. We think the brand could probably pay, a 16 CPM instead of a 10. I would counter offer there, and I think we could probably get a deal done. That part all goes on behind the scenes and is something that we've gotten really good at from our experience in the space. And to the brands, they just see, we put an offer in, we got a quick counter offer back, we got an ad made, we got it posted, and now we have really robust reporting around how it's doing. So I don't think there's anybody else with a solution out there. We've kind of built this off of our own experience buying this media and what we personally needed. So to me, that's why as an advertiser I'd use it. And I guess I'd toss it back to you as a creator. Why do you think, what do you think we bring to the table?
I think for creators, we bring to the table something that no other company does, and it is in-depth data, of course with brands' privacy in mind, but in-depth conversion data to say exactly how your channel converts. And I think that's something, it doesn't matter what website you use. You could use Canva, you could use Squarespace. No media kit out there, no resume out there has conversion data, sales data that's going to enable your brands that want to work with you or any of your outbound deals to close as much as they will on panel. We give data to creators that enables them to price themselves advantageously in the market. If you're too expensive, for your channel currently, and the best part about panel is that all of our data is in real time. So there's not like you're getting lagging indicators, you haven't updated, which in the real world currently is like your media kit. You made it 6 months ago and your manager or you haven't updated it, which we'll talk about managers a little bit later. But we give you that conversion data as your channel concurrently performs. And like I said, allows you to price yourself advantageously in the market. If you're too expensive, it helps you come down to a rate that you can close deals again and again and again. If you're not expensive enough and you are leaving value on the table, then it helps you price yourself that way so that you can get more value, but still maintain a long relationship again and again and again.
Yeah, to me, our data almost always tell creators that they're too expensive, but it's not a bad thing. A way that I've found a lot of success with creators is saying, your rate's too expensive, price on per conversion or per view, flat rate's too hard to price, we're never gonna get anywhere with flat rate pricing, let's find a better way to price it. And then they accept, okay, I'll take $10 per free sign up. It's a huge mountain to get them to do that, but then they go, oh wait, I post every day, I get 100K views on a video, I've run one brand sponsor in the last 6 months and made 5K. So in the last 6 months, I made 5K off of brand sponsors. Now I can run an ad on every video, and at 100K views, I'll make $1,000 a video. So only 20% of my supposed rate, but now I'm making $1,000 a day, and that's $30,000 a month. And now I'm, 100x the amount from brand deals that I used to make. So I think one of the biggest takeaways is right pricing so that you can have longevity in these relationships with brands instead of what's the most I can get right now in this moment, which seems like how the market's traditionally run.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of the solution that we bring to creators. It's data driven, but I think a lot of creators like getting data. It's like, okay, but how does that help me? And the way that it helps you is that we actually set your brand deals up for success with brands that have black and white success metrics. Because as a creator, you make up your rate out of thin air, or your manager tells you something absurd. As a brand, you're looking for $10 signups, or you're looking for a $20 CPM, period. And if you're on this side of the line, it's successful. If you're on this side of the line, it's not successful. And our goal is to keep you on the successful side of the line and getting consistent money and more predictable revenue for your business.
Yeah. And that's a great segue into what you talked about, or you touched on just a little bit, which is our reporting for brands. Because we've really bumped up our capabilities there. We've really built a robust reporting suite for them. And it's because we noticed that brands were pricing on the wrong metrics. They were pricing on things that didn't matter. So if you would just speak to our reporting, because this is, of course, your passion. Like you're deep in the weeds, deep in the numbers all the time. And we've really built something that works really well for brands.
Yeah, I would say there's two sides of the equations where brands got it wrong. The first side is brands that just spent flat fee and didn't really know what they were looking for and just have a basic budget. For them, I think we help define, wait, okay, you're a new health brand and you want to buy influencer and you're going to put 10K to work. How do we know if this 10K works? And we've definitely, encountered brands that are like, we don't know. We haven't discussed that yet. So I'm like, before we get started, let's define success so that we can actually know black and white what's a win and not a win. And then there's the other side where there's brands that just want to pay a $10 CPA. They don't know anything about paying in any other way, and they've only ever worked with affiliate partners. For them, I have to explain, this isn't just traditional affiliate channel. If you want to actually access this media at scale, you have to find more creative ways to buy this media. Flat fees are the easiest way, and we help price it using our reporting and our pricing recommendation algorithm. I still personally find, even with all the algorithms and modeling I've done, flat fees is a near impossible way to get it right. At scale, you can get it a little bit better, but on a one-to-one basis, it's really hard. And then CPM is probably the best way, because a CPA doesn't really mean much to me until I have some conversion data on it, because some companies say we pay $100 CPA on this down funnel event, and some pay $1 per click and everywhere in between. So it's really hard for me to figure out where that's going to yield until we have some testing. So I always recommend meeting in the middle at a CPM. And we also, recommend CPMs based on historical data of similar verticals and how they've performed in our marketplace. And also, once you start to spend, we'll use your own first-party data to help with the pricing recommendations and also match that against how the channels have performed historically. So we've taken a very scientific, data-driven approach in a space that has almost none of that. And it actually works. I mean, once I run an ad with a channel, it almost always performs in that vertical very similarly to the data that we have. So that reporting suite, ultimately it ends up in like a media buying looking thing similar to how you see a Facebook buy with clicks, views, CPM, conversions, CPA, all of those funnel metrics that everybody's used to seeing. But then us, with the help of the brands we work with, interpret that data and turn it into all sorts of different creative buys, whether it be like a view guarantee buy or a CPM, or oftentimes we'll go from those into CPAs and long-term deals with creators. So I think we've built a really robust solution, and a lot of people want to do flat fee only or CPA only, but restricting yourself to only those type of deal types, it just doesn't work in this industry.
Yeah.
So we've built a really flexible solution because it's the only way to make it work. Sometimes we'll pay a flat fee, sometimes we'll pay a CPM, sometimes we'll pay a CPA, and without the ability to do all of those in a platform with that technology, you're not going to be able to get to scale.
Yeah. And we've helped so many verticals at this point over the last 2 years understand how YouTube works for them and understand their reporting metrics. Every brand is different, which is something we've really realized at Panel and we're working to build towards. And we have some great new products and features that we'll talk about in a second. But we've worked with a ton of brands, and we know to a healthy degree what works and what doesn't work. We've essentially done $20 million in media to really understand the YouTube spend channel. And we've really narrowed down what works and what doesn't work. So I want you to talk to the brand specifically. Like, what brands are we finding success that YouTube as a channel does work for them? And what brands YouTube probably isn't the best spend channel for?
I'll start with the ones that work, and then I'll talk a little bit about ones that I think should probably stay away from it. But generally what works is brands with a broad appeal. They don't need super robust targeting that a media buy through TikTok or Facebook or some of these other traditionally digital media channels have, where you can target iOS, Texas users. If you need to target only iOS, Texas users, YouTube's not going to be the right channel for you, because the way the YouTube algorithm works is it sends it out to whoever it deems is good, which is often, part people in the US, people in Indonesia. And from channel analytics standpoint, you can generally target on a country basis. That doesn't mean it's going to be exclusively shown to that country, but you can say, okay, this country has 80% US audience. That's a good enough skew. So you need to really have a broad product. I would say for us, we found a lot of success with digital products that have a reasonable view to click to conversion rate. If you're trying to sell $1,000 mattresses and you want to have good tracking around and attribution around what works and doesn't work, that's not going to work. People aren't going to see a YouTube ad and scan it and go buy a $1,000 mattress in a way that looks ROI positive to you. So we found that brands that are looking for free signups, app downloads, those type of metrics work really well, because people will scan a QR code on a YouTube video and download an app and sign up. So I would say from a very broad standpoint, that's what works and doesn't work. If you have a product that's broadly applicable and is digital in nature in terms of you're collecting an email or a data lead form or an install or something that's free to get started, and then you can move people down funnel and gain LTV from there, that's what works. Verticals, we've found that gaming works, rewarded programs work, data and security stuff works, sports betting, gambling, those type of things work really well. Lead forms, insurance, credit card, finance, all of those work well. And I think when you're asking yourself, would this channel work for me, you have to think, what is a really strong hook that I could make in an ad? Whether it be, you're broke and you want to get rich, use my finance app to help you learn financial literacy. Or if you put $5 into this gambling app, you'll get $50 in free bets and it'll make sports way more interesting. I've been using it, it's really fun, check it out. Or use this program and play games and earn money. Or I'm just trying to think of, or for data security, your data's out there and you could get hacked at any minute. Use our solution so that you can have peace of mind. You can sell peace of mind to people. So if it has a strong marketing hook like that, it's very likely to work, and we found success. And I think both of us kind of have the sniff test now of what's the marketing angle that we're going to use? Oh, okay, yeah, that's going to work. Or if the marketing angle is, again, like even health and wellness, you could say get skinny, look hot, be confident. Like you're selling confidence. So for me, those are the things that I've found work well, but I'd be curious again for your take too, because I think like brand safety and stuff is some stuff that you talk about as well.
Yeah, for sure. I have a even broader viewpoint. I think like our platform enables every single down funnel event. You know, sales is the one that I would mention, but I don't know if there's a specific thing that doesn't work or that does work. I think there's a lot of brands, a lot of verticals that do work, and we're always working with new clients and testing new verticals that we don't have experience in to figure out if YouTube is the best channel for them. But I would say the things that brands do currently that I feel like don't work, one of them is this like heightened brand safety that you talked about. Like I think as the creator economy matures, and these platforms implement their own community guidelines and terms of service, brand safety was something that was like paramount to none, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I think brands have to evolve their idea of brand safety, and what that means, because some of the best ads that we found work best for our clients are where creators have creative control with, slight nudges and a rubric, but not a script, not like say this line by line, and they can really understand that, they have the best insight to what their audience enjoys from them, and they can create something that works best for their audience. With that being said, some of those things, like there could be cultural differences, there could be a outdated version of brand safety that brands run by that stop them from working with creators that could really do scale for them and really, unlock new audiences for them, new channels. And these are some of collaborations that we've done on behalf of our clients that have been some of their best campaigns. Yeah. So I would say a lot of brands are applicable for the YouTube, creator channel, but you have to go back and do some internal work and clean up some of the brand safety, clean up some of the flexibility that you have around this channel, and it could probably work great for you.
Yeah, and I would say anybody that's done performance marketing knows that the ads that work really well are never what you think are going to work. I know that people watching that have done this know, because I always laugh with them. We're like, made this really perfect, beautiful ad, and it flopped, and then this random thing that was like poorly edited and weird and kind of funky, like turned out to be our best spending ad of all time. And it's the same thing with creators. If you just want to work with the LA girly that's hot and the marketing girls on your team are all like, she's my favorite, you're going to have a losing strategy. But if you're willing to test channels that are a little bit more edgy and probably have a really engaged user base, and I'm not saying you should throw brand safety out of the window 100%. And be like, it doesn't matter, but you need to be open-minded to the fact that if you're looking for performance, it usually comes in unforeseen ways, and pretty clean, perfect branded ads are never what drives performance. It's always ugly, not what I expected to work. I can't believe that the Catching Cheaters channel did more volume than any channel we've ever worked with. Like, that is not what I envisioned when I started doing influencer marketing, but the data doesn't lie.
Yeah, and the ads aren't ugly. The ads are good.
The ads are clean.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the channel is just not what you expected. It's not what you would expect to perform for you. So like you said, like some of those inherent bias that marketing managers or influencer managers tend to have, and which gravitates them towards a certain creator, we need to rethink those. We need to rethink, like I said, brand safety and all those things.
And what helps with that is having the data that says this guy is probably going to work better. And instead of, you wanted to go with this person, we have data on both of them. Our models say this person's going to do better, and our models are pretty good. They're basically always right. I mean, lawyer, asterisk, but they're really, really good.
Yeah.
So I think with the help of data, we're able to steer brands in the right direction, even when it's not what they would probably initially think is going to work.
Yeah, and we can talk about some of the new things that we've released over the last 2 years, especially just the last year, because we've made, like I said, some amazing improvements to our brand portal, some massive updates to our creator mobile app that really just enable this two-sided marketplace to really thrive. And like you said, and we talked about very briefly, but our creator pricing engine, which is something that no one else has. It's proprietary to Panel, built on the $20 million of brand spend that we have, but it enables brands to price or find the best rate that works for them backed into their ROI target. So would love your just take on that. Building it was crazy, and seeing it out in the market has been insane.
Yeah, so we started building the brand portal, Panel's brand portal, based off our experience buying media. We started out, for those that don't know, taking pure play traditional affiliate deals, so a CPA of $8 an install or $5 a sign up, and going out into the YouTube marketplace, talking with creators, cutting a deal with them, oftentimes not on a CPA because, like we've said, you need to be flexible around pricing models. So we'd go out, pay a creator $3K, we'd be getting paid $10 an install. The ad would go live and we'd be praying, please make more than $3K. So that experience is what built the modeling, because we as Panel had to get really good at making sure that the buys, because we were taking on all the risk, were really good. So those models that we built to do that successfully is what ultimately ended up informing how we built the brand portal, so that brands could do that same. Because what brands are really trying to do is go out and buy media and hit their CPA targets. So our experience doing that on behalf of them, taking on all the risk, is why we built the portal. Because for us to scale Panel, we couldn't just be doing all these ARBs on our own. We had to have brands come in and help. It needed to be a collaborative effort to build their program. It couldn't just be a Panel doing all the work thing. So we built a platform to enable brands, with our help, to build out their creator programs. And that pricing model is all built off of real risk and real buys that we did. So it's not some fluffy, this is what ChatGPT told me or what my buddies in influencer marketing said. It's based off our experience buying the media and doing it really profitably. And I won't go into too much of the proprietary stuff that's in there, but it's largely based around views and current channel performance. Because those are the two leading indicators of how well a creator is going to turn into conversions and ROI for you. Ad scripts is the other part. That one's a little bit more subjective. It takes experience, although AI is getting really good at making first drafts of ad scripts. So ad script plus views in very current channel views, like their last couple videos in them, hopefully they're posting regularly, that's what powers the pricing model, along with all the past data and conversions that we've seen.
Yeah, and it solves such a massive pain point. Honestly, might be single-handedly the biggest pain point, which is, I want to work with this creator. I don't know what to pay them. Like I have no clue. And like I said, or like you said, using all of our proprietary information, our conversion data, this $20 million trove of information that we have on just the industry altogether and just YouTube as a spend channel, we've really been able to dial that in, and we continue to dial in that algorithm to really help brands get over the first initial hurdle, which is, what do I pay this creator and how do I know it's going to back into my result?
Yeah, and I think the other hurdle that we found was, how do we find creators to work with? So that was another part. Our whole discovery solution is something that we built, because for a while we went on YouTube, click around on YouTube, try to find some channels, find their emails, email them, get ghosted, finally have some come through, get on the phone. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And us doing that for years has now built a massive database of people that we actually can get to respond and work. And
Yeah.
so I think step one, when a brand wants to do influencer marketing, it's like, who do I work with? How do I make it? It's so intimidating just to be like, we're going to get into influencer marketing. So we've built step one, who are you going to work with? These are the people we think you should work with. Step two, what should I pay them? These are the people, this is how much you should pay them based on all of our models. Okay, cool. How is it actually going to perform? Like, how do I see how it does? Check out our reporting. We have robust reporting. And from there, you can really build a scaled program. And I don't think you need that many more sexy add-ons.
Yeah.
It's really trying to keep it simple to discovery, pricing, reporting.
Exactly. And that's virtually what everybody needs. We've also, in the last year, launched our partnered program, our creator partnered program, which really powers a healthy side of our creator sourcing tool that we have, and that has been super advantageous to us. We've been super excited to help build that program, to help creators more and more get access to this data that has been locked, as just never given. Of course, like I said, with the brand's privacy in mind, and build a program where we have, like you said, 100 to 200 creators that are getting deals again and again. They have long-term partnerships with a lot of the clients, a lot of the brands that use our platform.
Yeah, and it's as easy to join our partnership program as doing one deal with us. We talked about a bunch of different ways to qualify people, and we just came back to, once somebody does a deal with us, it means they have our mobile app, so they're completely authenticated. They've actually completed the deal, so we know that they can go end to end and complete a deal. We know they're going to take a reasonable rate, because if they did a deal with us, they took a reasonable rate, because that's really the only way we work. So to get into our partnered program, it's as easy as doing one single deal with us. You get a blue little check mark in our portal, and a lot of times brands, especially when they're starting, will filter on just our partnered creators, because those are going to be easier to work with. As you scale up, you have to start to work with our larger database as a whole. But that program, I think, has been really powerful when getting brands started. And those creators get such favorability due to the way that they're shown in our portal that, and it's a win-win, because we know they're going to be good to work with. We know they're going to take a reasonable rate and likely be a win for brands. And then they get a ton of deal flow, and they're, I signed up for panel, I never got deals, now I get a deal a week. This is amazing. So I've found that pretty much all of our, I don't know if you want to get into this now, but we're going to, is that all of our creators pretty much don't have management or anything.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them, even some of them, had management at one point, and then we may have tried to work with them at some point, and then I don't know what happened with them and their management, but they somehow then got referred to us through another creator that had been successful with us. They join our partner program, and they're, like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
How come I never did this before? So I think there's two kind of calls to action. One, if you're a creator and you're not getting enough deal flow, come try panel. We're probably not going to give you the crazy rate that you were promised whenever you joined, whoever your representation is, but we're going to get you consistent deal flow at a lesser rate. And if that sounds good, definitely check us out. And part two is, if you're a manager, what we're building really does work.
Yeah.
And it might not be how you envision things, but we do want to partner with the right managers that are willing to bring us a lot of talent and work within the confines that make our advertisers successful, which then leads back to a lot of money flowing to you and your creators. We haven't quite cracked that code, but it's not something I've fully written off yet, but I've found it near impossible to work with people, other middlemen, or middlemen in general.
Yeah, for sure. And what you said was exactly what I was going to say. Like, we don't want to write off managers. I think what I said earlier, the creator economy is maturing. I think 90 might be egregious, but there's a massive, healthy number of creators that don't need a manager for what they think they need it for. A lot of creators go and find a manager because they think that's how you turn brand deals on, and brand deals flow in constantly. And a lot of but inherently, a lot of managers stop a lot of deals. They stop progression of deals, where a creator would take that deal. They would be happy with what they're getting. And so it's the creator economy is maturing to this place where, okay, the manager's feedback is always, well, what the creator's worth is not what you guys are paying. And then it goes like, what is the creator's worth? You don't even know what the creator's worth is. Like, tell me. And that's where most brands resort to the old, well, give me some sales data, give me some conversion data to prove your number, and then the conversation ends.
Yeah.
And no one wins there. The brand doesn't win, the creator doesn't win, and the manager definitely doesn't win.
Yeah.
So panel is, we don't replace managers. Let's just make that very clear.
Yeah.
We don't, help you build and do anything in terms of your channel or help you find more views or anything like that. We are a tool where plenty of brands who want to scale their programs come to scale their programs. And by that, we have access to those, and we can give you that access. We can put you in front of brands that you want to work with, the brands that will help you make money and grow your business. Plenty of creators go online, and when they recount or they recollect their experience as a creator, 60, 70, 80% of the amount of money that they make month over month, year over year, is from YouTube sponsorships, is from brand deals. If you're going a whole year with no sponsorships, like, that is where all your money should be coming from. So panel is the best place to get those brand deals, to find brands that are willing to work with you. Like Andrew said, if you are willing to relearn what you are actually supposed to be what your content, what your channel and its current performance actually is priced at. And that's not to say, and when I say current, I mean current. When your channel blows up and it goes crazy, your rate should reflect that.
Oh, yeah.
When your channel is having a lull moment, your rate should reflect that. That's how you stay priced advantageous in the market. And that is like one of the massive pain points that we solve for creators. And yeah, as our partnered program grows, I think more and more creators are going to see panel as a great option to substitute, a manager that's really probably a business manager that's supposed to help you get deal flow. Or like, we enable plenty of managers to provide deals and constant deal flow to their talent.
Yeah, what I would recommend, first of all, I want to reiterate that we're not managers.
Yeah,
we
we're
tried
not
that
managers. So we're not managers at all.
I have no interest in being a talent manager. What I do have interest in is helping brands buy creator media and creators get a lot of brand deals. So if you have a manager just for brand deals, I'd say panel can probably do it, almost definitely can do it better than them. If you have a manager to help you schedule shoots and cast and, take care of business things and help you clip and edit, we will not be doing that. So I think if you want all of those services, you should get a manager that does those services and then also use panel for the brand deal side. Yeah. Because it's very, very rare that a manager would have all the brand connections and also be really good at content and what you probably want from them from the creative side. So I'm very supportive of managers being the creative side and helping with that stuff. I think it's massively important, and you kind of probably want a business partner and someone to rely on, but having a manager that you think is going to also get you brand deals is not realistic. Like, if you want brand deals, come to panel. If you want everything else, find a manager and make sure that distinction's clear. And I think you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. One thing that we talked about in this conversation and a little bit before is pricing, and how the creator economy is maturing, and we need to have a more honest and clear conversation around creator pricing. That's something that we talk about every single day. That's something that we're trying to we solve every single day with our deal engine, with our creator success, and trying to help creators understand what prices them advantageously. But we need to talk about pricing for sure, because that's something that the brands want to know about and something that creators definitely want to know about. It affects both sides and the bottom line. One of the conversations that we had most recently is about the fairest middle ground and what works for both sides. And I think we have collectively come up with CPM being the best pricing for both sides. Our panel platform supports all buying deal types, CPA, flat fee, and CPM, but we found a lot of success in getting not only campaigns offers accepted, but amount of videos over the line when it comes to CPM pricing. So we'd love to hear you talk about just pricing in general and the new way that we're thinking about pricing.
Yeah,
the
I'll
panel.
start with how the industry has traditionally done it, which is flat rate. I don't understand how anybody makes flat rate work. Like genuinely, I get if you're just have 100K to spend and you're doing brand awareness, but I think that's just not going to be that much of the spend in this space long term. So as a manager, if you say I want 10K and that's just my rate, to me, I'm almost like, how can that be how you came up with this? What an uncreative way of thinking. That's almost definitely going to make this deal not work. And I've cut a lot of deals in my life, M&A, vendor deals, so many creator deals, and to think that you can just do a black and white deal that's gonna work is silly. This channel sometimes gets 300K views and sometimes they get 1.5 million views. Pricing a flat fee is just a weird way to price something that's that volatile and when you can easily price it in a better way. So sometimes I'll tell brands to do flat fees if the creator is really, reasonable on the flat fee. Most of the time, I'll recommend CPMs, and if we want to get into numbers, I'd say a $10 CPM is almost always going to work for a brand, and a $20 CPM is almost never going to work for a brand. So as close to 10 as you can get, you're really setting yourself up for a long-term deal. And if you want to go above 20, I think I had a $25 CPM deal work once in my entire experience of doing this. So I'd say one for, 3,000, 4,000 or something. And I've had brands that do around $10, which sounds really low, but that's the sweet spot. People that will accept around that just have, $8 CPMs going on every video they post. And they're sometimes maybe we get someone to pay up and come in and do something one-off. But in terms of the numbers, that's what I've seen. And it's just such a fair way of pricing, because if the video does 300K, you pay the right fee for that. And if it does 2 million, you pay the right fee for that. And that goes both ways. For the creator, if it underperforms, you get paid less, but you didn't screw over the brand, so they'll work with you again. If it does really, really well, you get paid a lot, and you get paid for that upside of your video. And the brand didn't get screwed because they got, an overperforming video. So for me, that's the most fair. Obviously, if you go to CPA, the advantage with that is that it's kind of no rules. If you're on a CPA, I'm just kind of make whatever ad you want, say whatever you want within reason, put it on as many videos as you want. You can make really short ads, you can make long ads, you can put it in multiple times. Do whatever you want. If you're on a CPA, that's the advantage for creators. And the advantage for brands is that it's basically a risk-free buy, and they're not even really paying for, the brand uplift or any of the untracked conversions, which there's quite a few on YouTube, and we can get into that. So, and it's just such I don't know at all how a CPA is going to work till I've done it. So I come back to that middle ground and I've been saying this for years. I think like 4 years ago, I thought CPM is probably the way to do this, and I bounced around because I need to work within the way people are comfortable. But to me, I always come back to that.
Yeah, 100%. We can definitely talk about the future. We've talked a lot about where the industry is, where panel is right now, and where panel is. But I want to talk about where panel is going. We have a lot on the roadmap. We have I think there's, like I said, and I'll keep saying it, and I'm going to continue to say it, the creator industry is at a real mature place right now. But it's also, I guess, the most mature. I forgot how that saying goes, but it's like it's the oldest it's gonna be, but the youngest, or no.
I know.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And we, as we continue to develop the platform, as we continue to build panel and build it to support both sides, the brands and the creators, there's so much to still do with YouTube, and just the future of YouTube together. I know there's been a lot of keynotes this year from the YouTube team themselves, and from various platforms about how the creators on YouTube are only growing. The channel, there's only going to become more channels to work with, and of course that means brands. There's even more opportunity to go and buy and find your target audience and find the right consumer. We have a ton of things that we're going to be rolling out. Of course, creator sourcing number one. We're going to continue to dial that in and make that better. Not only are we already making it better for brands to find creators, but we're going to continue to make it better for brands to find the right creators and do that at bulk. So we'd love to talk about that for a little bit.
We have to look at how long we made it into this podcast, because I'm going to now start talking about AI. So we made it pretty far, I think. So I think the next phase for us is starting to leverage AI. The power of it is amazing. Every time I try a new tool, I'm blown away by what it can do. So we'd be mistaken and foolish to not lean into clearly that, game-changing technology. There's 3 ways that I think we're going to start to leverage it in, starting with sourcing, finding channels and then sub-niching those, and then scraping these massive tables of creator data and channels. AI is without a doubt the best way to sift through that data and say, these are the 10 best channels for you. These are the rates. This is how I would start my program. So scaling up our database using AI and the scraping tools and the niching tools and the face versus faceless, and this creator is a good fit for this brand for all these data points. That's mind-numbingly dense of the amount of data that you need. So layering that in there, script writing and creative, it's gotten very good at. So how can we make a custom script for each channel using what we know about the channel and AI and what our brief is, and smash all that together? And we do it manually now, but automate that. We do it manually using AI now, but automate that process. And there was another one. What was the third thing that you mentioned that we were going to
do? Creator resumes.
I guess that could be one.
Making it just easier for, panel being, ideally we want panel to be the source of truth for creators and the source of truth for brands. For creators, of course, it's how your channel converts and how well your channel is performing concurrently. And for brands, it's giving brands as many confidence indicators as possible to say, this is the correct price point for all these different reasons and all these various signals that we collect, and this is why this will work for you. And so we're excited to just develop that even further and bring something to the industry that is really a source of truth for everybody.
Yeah, and for me, I guess reporting and recommendations too from the reporting is something where we could layer in AI. But for me, the starting point is taking if you're using AI models, you need massive tables of data. So how do we take these massive tables of data that we have about creators and their channels and performance and demographics, sub-niching, and use that data to help put the right creators in front of the right brands to set up the brands for success? So I think that's the biggest one. And then, creative is the other side. And so those are really the next tools that we have up and coming. I think on the creator app side, we have a pretty robust tool. I think we've been talking a lot about the brand side. The creator app helps streamline payments, make sure the brief is right there in front of you. You can remember what the deal is. You can submit your draft, get it approved, submit your live link. Payment comes right through there. You can see how it's performing. One thing that's interesting that I think we do is if you take a flat fee or a CPM deal, any deal other than CPA, it'll say you're doing good or you're doing bad versus the brand's goal. And there's a ton of transparency. You took a 1K deal, the brand needed a $10 sign up. Have you hit 100 signups yet or not? If not, you're not doing good. If you've hit more, you're doing good and you're very likely to get another deal.
Yeah, 100%. Final question. We talked about the future. We talked about the past. What do you feel like YouTube ad buying is going to look like in the next 2 years?
So when you say YouTube ad buying, I'm assuming you're talking about
Yeah,
influencer
influencer. Yeah,
integrations. So I think a lot of it will go through panel. I think like any marketplace, you can think of it like the NASDAQ or Airbnb or anything. You need strong supply and demand. So as we build up our supply of creators and our demand of advertisers, our marketplace is only going to get more and more robust. And for performance buyers, I think keeping it simple to, I want to work with these 5 creators this month. These I'm going to put in the offers. Okay, 3 of them said no. These are the next 3 up that I want to put in. Really automating a lot of that and just making sure the reporting's in a good spot and that we have a really good process of making sure the ads get made and put up and everything, which we do have a good process of. So I think there's going to be more marketplace dynamics, which will come into pricing and bids and spreads. And ultimately, hopefully we get into a better spot with brands paying the right rates and spending at scale instead of doing a one-off test and losing and never spending again. And creators taking more acceptable rates and not having so many one-off brand deals that they get, twice a year.
yeah. You stole it from me. I think that's what I was gonna say. I think we're really, macro-wise, micro-wise, of course, there's a lot of environmental factors that are pushing influencer marketers to turn into paid specialists, and really relearn what it is to do influencer, and make that more paid focus as brands, budgets tighten because, of macro factors that no one can kind of, pinpoint where things are going to go. So I think that's super exciting. Like I said, we have so much data to inform so many different verticals and help brands really buy this media as performance minded as possible. I'm super excited for that, and I think that's where the industry really is going for the next 2 years.
One more, this might be really niche, but one thing that I see happening more is the reuse of ads.
Yeah.
A lot of times a creator will record an ad that's good, and it will only ever get used once, most likely because the brand overpaid, they don't want to run again, the creator thinks it's just a one-off deal. But one place that we found a lot of wins is a creator making an ad, getting paid on a CPM or a CPA, and then they just run that ad. And, once they've run it 5 to 10 times, it's probably time to make a new one. But to creators, when I tell them, I'll pay you $10 to sign up, make me one good ad, and just start putting it on your videos whenever you want, that to them is a very attractive way to work. And I think we'll start to see more of that.
Yeah.
And one thing that we were talking about just yesterday is how do we reuse this creative gold mine that we've made? We've gotten thousands of ads made, and they are really, really good ads.
Yeah.
They're super clean, made professionally by these professional YouTubers that have these full teams of people that make sure the content's good. How do we extract more value out of them? One way is put the ad on more videos, so just get reuse out of that ad. The other one is then how can we get licensing right? How can we cut it down into ways that it can be bought against, with paid media on short form or YouTube or connected TV or programmatic. So that's something that's completely untapped and is probably, a year or so out for us, but figuring out how do we repurpose this gold mine of content that we're sitting on.
I think that's only going to help, like we talked about, and I think is Panel's main vision. It's going to help brands unlock new audiences, get higher frequency and concentration with their audiences, and help creators make more money. And that's our main goal. So any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is if you're a brand, come check out Panel. We work really, really hard, and we've driven a lot of success for brands. So reach out to us. We can probably give you some case studies and make you feel comfortable in trying out this new channel. We're taking, each vertical by vertical and figuring it out, and we build technology that supports any vertical. And if you're a creator and you want more brand deals and you're open-minded to working in creative ways, reach out to us. We can almost definitely get you a deal within one day. It might not be a $20,000 flat fee brand deal, but we can get you started in a way where we can figure out how your channel performs and start to bring you more brand deals over time. So reach out and we'll get you started with your first deal within a day or two.
It might be a 20,000 deal too. We've had that happen
Yeah,
plenty of times.
it could.
It
Yeah.
could be.
I just want to level set expectations.
Yeah, good expectation setting. Yeah, and for me, like, just on the human side, we want to give a massive thanks to all of our partners, all of our clients that have come and really trusted Panel to build a platform that works for their creator programs over the last 2 years. Some of our initial clients that have really been with us through the trenches as our product continues to develop, as our processes continue to develop. Appreciation for our creators, creators within our partner program, creators outside of our program, creators we haven't worked with yet, creators we work with every day. Thank you to you guys. We hope to continue building this amazing marketplace for both sides, and really bring the economy to a place that that really works for both sides.
Yeah, we out.
See ya.